for the moment that you've all been waiting for. From just north of the border, he's the hombre with no nombre. Mi hermano from another mamo. His favorite jelly bean flavor is black licorice. El Numero Uno.
That's right. You're listening to one of the three Hogsmen. Devin, not here. Big Duke can't make it this week. But it's Tuesday. It's the day. And it's March 9th. What's going on, Adam?
Nothing much. Another daytime podcast. I'm really enjoying it.
I like this too, man. I like this too. It's a lot easier this way.
Yeah, because then you don't getting home at 10 o'clock at night editing a podcast. I get home I'm done with it by 5. So
yeah,
that's always nice.
But yeah, we're back. El Numero Uno, Mike Camden, the Hogsman podcast. What's going on, everyone? Had a long weekend, Adam.
I saw some of your Instagram posts.
I was up in Tahoe for my wife's birthday. First time I've driven up to Tahoe. Not a short car ride. Not a short car ride.
How long is it?
About 8.5, 9 hours.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, man. It's a long drive.
Yeah, it sounds like a long drive.
But we lucked out, got some good weather up there. Went and rode. We got up there, so we drove up there Friday. Got up there around like 7:30 at night and just hung out for that, for that night. Nothing really. Everybody, like, we had two other couples meeting us up there at an Airbnb. So everybody just kind of was like, everybody kind of drove separately. And so we were all just kind of meeting at the house and just hung out that night. And then went and snowboarded on Saturday on Heavenly, which is a gigantic mountain, like gigantic. And it was cool because it was right down the street. We could walk to the mountain. We didn't have to drive or anything like that. And yeah, man, it was fun. Had good snow, a little windy earlier in the day, but loosened up and got some good rides in. I've decided that I do like snowboarding. I hate everything that goes on around snowboarding.
Yeah. I think we talked about this a couple weeks ago. It's like you like the aspect of snowboarding, but you don't like the driving up, the
everything,
going up the mountain,
So we went there, and I guess it was so Heavenly is so big that it's Tahoe has two sides. It's their California side and the Nevada side.
Yeah.
And Heavenly is right there. It has a California side and Nevada side. So they have like a big map at the bottom of the mountain, and it shows like what runs are open, like if they're green or if they're red. Red means closed off. And I guess the Nevada side was really windy that day, or like in the morning time. So everybody was on the California side, and the California side is smaller.
Yeah.
So man, like the lines were like insane to get on the lift, just lines everywhere. And right when we got up there, I grabbed my board and I start walking up. We start walking up the street to the parking lot, to the ticket booth or whatever. And one of my bindings just broke. Like, my board is so old. I bought it when I was probably 19 years old, 20 years old. I'm talking the whole setup. My board, my bindings. I got new boots last year because my old boots were I purchased at the exact same time. Oh, the soles were falling off. And the past, I think, 4 times that I've gone up, my bindings have broke because they're so old. They're Drake bindings. That company doesn't even exist anymore. And every time I'll just go into the repair shop and those throw on some Burton straps, So my straps are basically like Frankenstein straps. So as soon as we got up there to the to the ticket booth and we're about to like walk up to the mountain, I looked down and my binding just snapped, like the strap. And I'm like, I got to go get this fixed. So I walk over to the repair shop and the guy's like, yeah, I've got nothing for you. I can't fix that. And so I'm like, like this is going to be annoying. I'm going to have to spend some money on some new bindings, all that kind of stuff. Finally, like after like 5 minutes of him kind of just like looking around, all that kind of, he goes, oh, I got something. Went and got a Burton strap, put it on, all good. And yeah, man, it was just like, it doesn't really make sense. It's almost like going to Disneyland. The amount of time that's like going to take you to drive there, the amount it's going to cost, the amount of time you're going to wait in line to go on a ride, when you like equate it out to like the amount of time of actually riding compared to everything else,
the joy to work ratio is not
It's psycho
in your
shit.
favor.
It's psycho shit. You're like, who in their right mind would do this? It's just like wrestling. The amount of time we spend traveling as opposed to the actual bell to bell in ring action. It doesn't make sense at all. It doesn't make sense at all. But anyways, it started loosening up later in the day, like the wind died down on the top of the mountain. So we went all the way up there. Everybody kind of started dispersing over the Nevada side to where, it loosened up the California side. And it was great, man. It was a lot of fun. Beautiful view on the mountain, man. Like that's, have you been to Lake Tahoe?
Nope.
That lake is so blue. It's amazing. And I guess people like snorkel in it and scuba dive in it or something like that, like during the summertime, because it's that clear. But yeah, man, it was a good time. So a lot of good tree runs, got to hit those. That's always fun because I don't hit jumps or grind rails anymore. So going through like tree runs is fun for me.
Yeah.
And I got to do that. And then drove home yesterday. Sunday we didn't do anything. Not really. Like we went out for like breakfast and went out for dinner that night, and they like went to the casino for about an hour. But I hate casinos, but my wife likes to gamble, so I let her gamble.
In your younger days, would you have gone snowboarding again that second day?
Maybe. It's expensive.
Is it?
It's expensive. Maybe I might have done that. You know what? They didn't really groom the mountain that well, so there was like moguls everywhere. One of the guys that I was with jacked his knee up just from riding. Not doing anything stupid yet. We were going to go through some tree runs, but we were just on our way to get there, and he hit this mound of snow like right in front of me. I watched it hit this mound of snow, and then like it just kind of launched his board out from underneath him on his toe side, and he like face planted into the snow. And I rode by him kind of like chuckling, and all of a sudden like I could hear that he was actually hurt, and I'm like, oh shit, like you actually hurt. But yeah, he made it down, and then yesterday we drove home, left at 9:30 in the morning, didn't get home till 8 o'clock at night.
Jeez.
The couple, one of the couples that was with us, they left before us, and we took the 395, which you kind of go through like nothing. Like there's a lot of like nothingness out there, and his something on his truck broke down. So we stopped and hung out with them for a while so they could like get it repaired and all that kind of stuff. But it took forever to get home, man. Took forever to get home. So that was my weekend.
Sounds eventful, at least.
It was eventful. Yeah, Tahoe is beautiful, man.
Yeah,
I suggest going up there. It just takes a long time to get up there.
Yeah, 8-9 hours. That's a long drive.
Yeah, last time I went up there, I flew to Reno, and then we had a rental car out of there. But the drive. But up around Mammoth, beautiful.
Yeah,
it's really nice. Like the drive is really scenic and all that kind of stuff. But everything except for that is like kind of just like desert. Nothing really out there.
I feel like trips like that are good for like people who wrestle because you're already used to being in cars for 7-8 hours at a time. So
yeah,
driving up to Tahoe is probably like nothing. You're like, yeah, I've done this to Arizona a couple of times. Like,
yeah, I mean, well, doing long drives has definitely conditioned myself to like, if I see like a 4-hour drive in front of me, I'm like, oh, that's nothing. 3-hour drive, that's nothing. 6-hour drive, yeah, that's something. But I've done it before. 8-9 hours, it starts to get to you a little bit.
Yeah.
But at least we don't have to do like, there and back the same day.
At least you don't have to do the turnaround that same day.
Exactly.
And be there for maybe 2 hours and then go, all right, let's go back.
Yep. So what about you, man? You do anything this weekend? I know Devin doesn't like to ask you that question.
And Devin, for some reason, likes to make fun of me for
having a life.
You asking that question every week.
For me having a life?
Yeah.
And doing stuff on the weekends?
Yeah. No, I literally don't have a life. So I think I watched the AEW pay-per-view, and that was pretty much all I did this weekend.
All right. Let's move. We'll come back to the AEW pay-per-view.
Yeah.
But I got to tell you something I watched last night when I got home.
Okay.
So I get home. We kind of unpack everything. Not everything, because you just kind of leave it around, and then as you need it, you go through that.
Yeah.
that.
Oh, I need this shirt now.
Exactly. And then you try and you get it. Do you have Showtime?
I mean, I have the app where I can watch stuff on there, but I don't really watch anything on there.
So there's a documentary on Tekashi 6ix9ine.
Okay.
It's called Supervillain. Yo, you gotta watch this. I swear to God. I don't get the music's trash.
Yeah.
The lyrics trash. But that kid is so smart. He is so smart what he did. He even like admits like he has like no musical talent. But the thing is, he's great at marketing.
Yeah.
He was great at marketing himself. He even to this day, he's still great at marketing himself.
So that's not the rapper who
Snitched.
That is the rapper who
He's
snitched.
the one that snitched on it.
I thought he was going in like witness protection.
No.
No?
He denied witness protection. So he got sentenced to X amount of time in prison, but got out due to COVID.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So he got early release, and then I think he was on house arrest. And then he denied witness protection and said he'll just pay for his own security.
Yeah.
Which he did, he
Makes
does.
sense.
But they do a great job in this documentary, kind of telling the story of him. And what they do is they take like an action figure, and they start off with him as like a kid, right? So it's kind of blank. It's a blank action figure.
Yeah.
It's just him with like no tattoos or anything like that. And then the narrator, as they go through all these sections of his life and elements of what it took to become the character Tekashi 6ix9ine, they start adding things to this action figure. They'll add like tattoos. They'll add like the colorful hair, the wardrobe, and they kind of like make it him. They turn him into a supervillain, which was his like idea the whole time, was like he wanted to be a villain.
Yeah.
And he, as a wrestler, you look at this and you go, this guy made a character.
Character development, yeah.
And did a great fucking job. And you know what? He's the ultimate heel, because a lot of people hate this guy. He has fans, but a lot of people hate this guy. But even those people that hate him, they watch what he does.
Yeah.
And by the end of this thing, because you can't spoil it, right, guys? We all know what happens at the end.
Yeah, it's documentary. I think you'd spoil a documentary.
But at the end, he is such a heel. He makes the gangbangers, right? The real gangsters of Treyway, the baby faces. Can you believe that shit?
No, I cannot.
Like full on criminals, gangbangers. He makes them the baby faces. I'm telling you, you got to watch this. It's nuts, dude.
I'll check it out.
And just like, he snitched, right? Which is kind of like the code of the streets. You don't do that. Right. If you're going to live that lifestyle, you that's the code you're supposed to follow. Yeah. And he snitched, huge, sent a bunch of people to prison, and came out almost embracing that snitch title and being like, fuck it, I don't care. And in this society today, people like that idea of, I don't care if you think I'm a piece of shit. Even if they don't like it, if they don't like the idea that you have no problem with being a piece of shit, in some ways people like still kind of respect it, I guess, a little bit.
Yeah. Like,
man, this guy doesn't care at all. Like that's, as low as that was, it's almost kind of like you almost respect him for embracing it.
Yeah. Cause it's still, even if you hire like the best security in the world, I'd still be like, they're going to get to you eventually.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't matter who you got watching your back. They're going to get to you eventually if they have enough people.
They showed a list of the people that got put away, because it was a RICO act that they did on this gang. And he's probably like, he's obviously in danger right now of getting shot or murdered or whatever. But in I'd say about 8 years, because that's when the average of these prison sentences for these guys were about 8 years.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna have a little more problem down the road, and he might not have that bankroll, because I'm guessing 24/7 security costs a lot of money.
Yeah.
Plus his lifestyle just in general. So who knows how fast he's gonna burn through that.
And he's also a guy that I remember when they said he was going to witness protection. I was like, how is that guy gonna go live in like Kentucky and work at like a Dairy Queen?
Oh, even if he
like be secret, like people know who he is. Like
even if he shaved off his rainbow hair, he's still got those tattoos on his face.
The tattoos
like
are
that.
the big thing.
But I'm telling you, I think you should watch it, man. Like I said, music trash, lyrics trash, but the guy he put himself on the map. big time, made a lot of money. And I, you know what, I can kind of see how these younger kids, they got behind it.
Yeah.
Like they were showing like videos, or not videos, footage of his live concerts. He's got a lot of energy, man. And as much of trash that music is,
Yeah.
there's a lot of energy behind it. And in that environment, I'm sure people love it. You know, I've been to a lot of concerts.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've been to concerts. In that moment, it's, if there's a lot of energy being put off by the person on stage, hey man, you're into it. Let's do it. And if you're only 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 years old, you think this is the shit, man. And society doesn't want this guy to succeed.
No.
So I like it even more because I'm a fan.
Yeah.
You know, not me, but I was watching this, like, this is incredible, man. I knew the story,
Yeah.
but this gets real deep. And you're like, man, like I said, musically, trash. Marketing, genius. Absolute genius.
Completely unrelated, but I don't know. Have you seen this trend recently of all these like Gen Z, these younger kids like on TikTok trying to cancel Eminem?
Yes. Now,
And-
I got a quick glance. Is it because of past music?
No, it's apparently a lyric from a current song. I don't know specifically what it is, but I'm like, people have been trying to cancel Eminem since I was a kid, and it doesn't work. So I don't know why they think it's going to work now.
Yeah, I don't know the exact reason of why he's trying to get canceled or what the lyric is.
It's just some, it might have been old lyrics that now are offending people 20 years later. And I think he might have said something in a recent song that offended some of these younger people, but
Really? I mean, the guy made his name being offensive and shocking.
The first thing anyone ever heard from him was, "Hey kids, do you like violence?" That was the first song that made him popular.
Yep.
He made a song about a fan who killed his wife or his pregnant girlfriend. Like,
remember that song "Guilty Conscience"?
yeah.
Where he, in the one of the verses, he's talking about like not even a date rape, but like full blown fraternity rape.
Exactly.
Like, it's just like when you think of that, like that, so that came out probably in what, 98, 97?
Yeah, 97, 98 probably.
That
Came out today. It would not go over
It's
well.
insane.
Yeah.
It's insane, man. But I mean, I'm a fan of Eminem. I was a fan back when I was a kid. I kind of stopped listening to his music.
Yeah, his new music is hit or miss. Like, there's some songs that are good, some that are like, I know what he's doing. He's trying to cater more to modern like fans, younger fans, try to get them in. But like, and also like when rappers get older and they get more money, like there's less of the anger and the rage that fuels a lot of rappers. So it's like when you're a billionaire like he is, like, I don't believe that you're mad anymore.
Well, he's also maturing.
He's maturing.
I mean, he's got to be 40 something, right?
Yeah.
Mid 40s.
His daughter, who is like 21 now.
Yeah. Like nobody wants to hear like a middle-aged 40-year-old, or I'm sorry, a mid 40s, rapper talk about
being poor and
exactly
living in the streets of Detroit.
Yeah.
Like 40 years ago. Like,
it's just not like, it doesn't sound appealing anymore.
but it's like, it's one of those things like him, like, it just shows you that you don't have to get canceled. You can just ignore it and it'll go away.
Oh yeah.
Like, I don't know if you saw this, Bill Burr was like defending Gina Carano.
Well, yeah, actually I listened to Burr's podcast and, he likes her as a person.
Yeah.
And, what he was saying was legit. He's like, hey, this is just her political views. Was it a stupid comment?
Yeah.
Yes, it is. But, like, hey, man, she's allowed to have her opinion on stuff.
Absolutely.
Like I said, I'm a fan of Gina Carano. I remember her back when she was an MMA fighter. I liked her in The Mandalorian. It sucks that she got cut.
Yeah.
But like, it was self-sabotage though. I mean, she kind of
should have better publicist. They probably should have been like, hey, stop.
Well, I mean, I'm sure she got a talking to after like the first time she like said something stupid or did something stupid. So I don't know. But anyways, yeah. So Tekashi 6ix9ine, super villain.
I'll check it out. I'll check it out.
It's one of those ones where you're just like, I gotta watch this, man. But anyways, what else is going on? Who else? Did you hear about this? There was I was on the social media a little bit while I was gone up in Tahoe, and I saw early on Friday morning, I think it was, there was the Fight TV Twitter handle was like, hey, we no longer going to have any participation with a company called Synergy Wrestling.
I saw that. I didn't know what it was regarding.
And then a few other wrestlers and promotions were like, we're not going to participate with this guy at all. Turns out he has a past of sexual assault charges and convictions of minors, and people are cutting him off. I guess it's like Synergy Pro Wrestling.
The name sounds familiar, so yeah, I think so.
So that was a wild to read about.
Yeah, and then there were a couple of people that were starting to say that all promoters now should demand wrestlers give them background checks before they book them. And I'm like, in theory, that's a good idea, but I think getting a background check costs money.
It does.
So now you're asking guys who you're probably underpaying, let's be honest, with a lot of promoters are underpaying talent. Now you're saying, hey, can you go pay for this so I can book you so I know that you're not a sex offender? I'm like, in theory, it's a good idea, but if Mike Camden emails you, does Mike Camden really need to go get a fucking background check? I'm pretty sure there's enough people in the world that would vouch for you, and Mike's not a shitty guy,
Well, yeah, that's the thing. You never know.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been background checked a lot of times through works and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But and I have no criminal past. I saw that people were talking about doing background checks, and that's the first thing I thought, because they cost money.
Yeah.
They cost around I'm guessing $150 a pop. Now, who's going to pick up that tab? Is the promoter or is the wrestler going to have? Is that on the wrestlers?
They're probably going to ask the wrestler to do it.
Because listen, the margins are already tight when it comes to wrestling shows.
Yeah.
Right. And now you want to background check wrestlers that are coming in. Like I said, in theory, that's great.
It's a great idea. Yeah.
But the thing is, how long is that going to last before people start realizing hey, this is taking out, this is eating up a lot of my, overhead.
Yeah.
And also what background checks don't just show up for any kind of sexual assault pass. You have DUIs, assaults, theft, anything else.
Yeah.
So where do you draw the line at? Where do you draw the line at? Hey, we can't book you because your past is I don't know. I don't know.
And it could lead promoters to make excuses to why they don't want to book you. If they just don't think you're good enough, they can now use, he had this minor arrest in 2002 for something. And they're like, oh yeah, we can't bring you in because of that. Just stupid shit they could turn it into just the way it goes. But I don't think it'll become a thing, but I think it should certainly be a thing for AEW and WWE because they've got the money to do it.
Oh yeah, WWE does it.
But I'm not saying the mom and pop indie companies that not the higher end ones, the ones that are smaller. I don't think you can really do that.
You know what? Maybe what you could do, and it's always a maybe because you would have to rely on every single wrestling promoter to work together, which we all know that doesn't work out a lot of times. But the school, right? Let's say I went to SoCal Pro, right? That's where I started training at. What if at that level, before I could start training, okay, I needed a background check.
That's fair.
Okay, so now Jeff Dino's in possession of my background check.
Yeah.
Right? And anybody that wants to use me for the show, they say, hey, do you have a background check? And I say, yeah, go ahead and hit up Jeff Dino.
Yeah.
Or I have a copy of it also, so I could send it off. Maybe that could be a way.
Yeah.
Maybe that could be a way. But that would also rely on people working together and
And presuming that you never have a fallout with the person that trained you, because that happens all the time too.
And that's maybe why you would have to even to have a background check done on you, they notify you anyways.
Yeah.
And you have to agree to it. So whoever's running that school would have to should give you a copy of that background check also. Because it's very often that wrestlers have a fallout with the school, maybe their first school or anything like that. And maybe that promoter now doesn't want to release your background check to another promoter that's using you. So I don't know. It's complicated. But yeah, crazy, man. Crazy. I saw that.
Because background checks don't show stuff like, for instance, like Teddy Hart. Teddy Hart had a girlfriend that came down to Orlando to train and disappeared.
Went missing.
That doesn't show up on a background check, but people were pretty suspicious of it. And they kind of presume he had something to do with it.
Yeah.
So it's like, that doesn't show up on a background check. So he would look clean.
By the way, did you see there's a promotion in Southern California that is using Teddy Hart, and they decided to release that information on like the day that this like Synergy promotion came out. It's just like,
read the room.
Do you not know? I met Teddy Hart at the Expo Lucha in San Diego. What was that? Over a year. Actually, it was in 2019.
Yeah.
Right. I walked by and we had a bunch of cases of beer that we were bringing to the booth, and he was like, "Where's that going?" And I'm like, "Ground Zero." And he was like, "Okay, cool." But like that's the only interaction I've ever had with Teddy Hart. But you know, the guy's got a history. I mean, there's a Twitter handle dedicated to, is Teddy Hart in jail right now?
Yeah.
Which is pretty.
He did a whole podcast with Jericho where he went over like a lot of his childhood, and some fucked up shit happened to him. Like he went to like a Catholic school or something, and like, you know, some weird shit happened with some of the priests and shit where he was kind of like sexually abused and stuff like that.
Jeez.
If you ever are interested, it's Talk is Jericho podcast with Teddy Hart. It's so eye opening to why the guy can come off as messed up and why he talks about how he trains his cats to wrestle and stuff like that. Like,
yeah, but I thought that was pretty interesting that promotion released that they were going to be bringing him in this environment.
Is it a promotion that's like close to here, or is it?
Yeah,
like,
I think they run out of like the OC or LA or something like that. Oh, I mean, hey, see what happens.
They're gonna get some buzz, I'm sure.
Yeah, interesting. What else is going on? Oh, let's talk about AEW. Okay. I didn't get to watch it. I saw the big controversy at the end. How could you not?
Yeah.
If you want to tell me a little bit about the show in general, what'd you think?
I liked the show. I felt awful for Moxley and Eddie Kingston at the end because it came off so dumb at the end of it. But the exploding barbed wire death match, I thought lived up to the hype, whatever the hype might have been. I feel like they shouldn't have promoted they were going to blow the ring up, because I feel like they put themselves into a hole. Derek Montilla, who you know from Arizona, he was at the show, and he said at one point he saw them like cut a wire or something, so he thinks that's kind of what screwed up the final explosion. But yeah, like it came up as so corny, like. And then Eddie selling it like he died after the sparklers, and the Gilbert entrance basically just went off, and he's selling it like he's dead. And then after the show, they all are, Khan is saying stuff like, well, Kenny built a shitty bomb because Kenny was the one who supposedly made the ring.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, you could have just pivoted and said Kenny was playing a prank and gone that way. But I thought the show was good. It's good to see Christian's going to be wrestling regularly again. So,
okay, I got a question for you. So now there's a lot of hype and mystery going into who this, new signee is that came over from the WWE. He's a future Hall of Famer, all that kind of stuff. A lot of people were talking about Lesnar, Angle, CM Punk, other like kind of bigger names.
Yeah.
A lot of hype, a lot of interest on who is going to come out. Here comes Christian. Now, I was a fan of Christian. Big fan of Christian.
So was everybody 6 weeks ago.
Back when I was younger too. Yeah. I mean, he was awesome. Now, I feel bad because for some, like, there was a lot of hype into this.
Some of it created by fans.
Exactly, but that's what I'm sure AEW was looking for when Tony Khan said, "Hey, we got this guy coming on. He just signed with us.
Yeah.
You're all going to be really excited. You know who he is. He's one of my favorites ever. He's a future Hall of Famer, all that kind of stuff." Did the hype live up to the reveal?
For me, it did, because I pretty much thought it was going to be Christian from the get-go. I pretty much said so on Duke's podcast last week when he asked who I thought it was going to be. And I said Christian. Then he said something about he heard Christian had been signed. But then like the day after, it was someone said he wasn't. So I was like, okay, it's going to be Christian. I thought it was going to be Christian or Kurt Angle. Those are my two. So to me, the hype lived up to what I thought it would be.
No.
Because there's no way that I don't think Brock Lesnar knows what an AEW is.
No, not at all.
And I'm pretty sure CM Punk is not going to return to a crowd of 1,300 people. Pretty sure if he comes back, it's going to be...
If the money was right, I'm sure.
If the money was right, but I don't know if you're going to pay him what he'd want right now with... You just brought Sting in. You just brought Paul White in. You're probably paying those guys a hefty chunk of change. I'm not sure you're going to want to then splurge on CM Punk. It's going to be above like $2 million a year, probably.
Yeah.
Probably way more than that. But yeah, to me, I was happy because he's a guy I've always liked. And I always wanted to see him on a bigger stage succeed. Like TNA was fine, but it's still not WWE. Like an AEW is kind of at WWE's level in terms of like mainstream. So especially after the Shaq thing last week, there.
Oh, we'll talk about that in a
more
second.
Buzz,
Too.
but yeah, I was happy.
So like I said, I'm a fan of Christian. Back when I was younger, I liked him a lot when he was in the Brood, when him and Jericho teamed up, all that kind of stuff. But like I said, all that momentum, that hype coming in, and then like it was Christian, and it was like, for me, when I saw that, like when it was on Twitter, I was like, okay, because people were like Lesnar, CM Punk, Angle, all this stuff, and I was like, and then so when it was real that it was Christian, I was like, okay, all right. Is he going to move the needle that much for AEW?
No, but I don't think that was the intent. I think they just brought him in because he wanted to go there, and he's a name. He's a name. He's not like a huge name, but he's not going to move the needle. But I don't think that I don't think there is anyone right now that's going to move the needle that they could have gotten.
I think Lesnar would have.
Lesnar would have been
that needle off the goddamn.
Lesnar would have been Hogan going to WCW in '95. That's how big that would have been.
Yeah,
like that kind of like game changer type deal. But I don't remember what podcast I said it on, but like Lesnar lives in Canada.
Yeah.
Their traveling restrictions with Canada right now are so strict that Lesnar would basically have to stay in America for a month or two if he was going to work for an American company.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole reason that Brock left in the first place is because he didn't like traveling all the time. So I think if Brock is going to come back, it's going to be for big money. It's going to be for Vince, and it's going to be for Mania or something like that.
I'm just wondering because, if you put out this much money, I'm talking for everybody, you expect the needle to be moved.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe if you're not like, if you're signing somebody who's off the indies, good wrestler, great, like, hey, this person has potential.
Yeah.
We're going to work with them and hopefully build them up to be somebody who moves the needle.
Yeah.
Whereas when you have these guys coming over straight from WWE, you expect them to move the needle.
Yeah.
Immediately, like at least get new fans, new eyes on the product. People like, a good hype.
Yeah. I don't think Christian's going to bring any new fans over to AEW, which is unfortunate.
I'm just wondering because, I mean, he's older.
Yeah.
How many years does he have left in him?
Probably maybe 2 or 3, but like I guess he wants to wrestle more regularly, and that's just something that WWE didn't want to do for him. So
yeah.
I think your boy Cozy Superkick summed it up best. He said he was pretty much 50-50 on it.
Mm-hmm.
More or less, let's see what happens. Like he's like, it doesn't do anything for me. That's what he's personally. But it could if they book something right or they use him properly, maybe then it's like it changes.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a good better observation than people that were just automatically like, this sucks. I wanted Brock Lesnar. Like, okay, well,
yeah.
It's like going to a birthday party and expecting to get $1 million in an envelope, but you get like 500, and it's like, ugh.
Yeah. It's just kind of interesting. Like you look at who's been signed recently, like the big money signs.
Yeah.
Right. Big Show, probably not going to wrestle very much, right? More of a commentating.
Yeah.
Stinger, probably not going to wrestle much.
No.
More of just.
He had a pretty fun match at the pay-per-view too. It was cinematic, but
yeah,
it was
okay.
pretty fun.
So you're going to get that out of him.
Yeah.
But I think people are going to eventually like no more cinematic.
They want to
stuff.
see him wrestle.
They want to see real wrestling.
Yeah.
They want, a real wrestling match. Okay. So you have Stinger, probably big money. Paul White, probably big money. You're not going to get too much wrestling out of them. Matt Hardy is probably more towards the end of his career.
Yeah.
But he's probably big money. I don't know. I'm kind of looking at a lot of these signings and going like, how much are they going to get out of these guys?
I agree with that. The one thing I think is different between them and the way WWE does it is they're not putting these guys in like the title picture or the main event picture, at least yet. I mean, they haven't done it yet, but so like they're using their core like guys to be their main eventers, and they're using these guys as like, when you turn on the TV, you're like, oh, this is where Sting is now. This is where Big Show is now. Like they're not putting them in like marquee matches where they are going to get exposed. They're putting them in much lower leverage positions, which I guess even if you have the money and you're able to do that, that's great.
Yeah.
But like you said, I don't think Big Show's going to wrestle. If he does, it's going to be like a match with Shaq, which is not a wrestling match, but it's going to draw some eyes to the show. Like, and then if you come into that show, then you see Kenny Omega, you see Adam Page, you see all these other guys, and they're like, now these guys look bigger because they're on this show with Shaq. Like,
yeah.
I don't know.
Let's talk about the Shaq match. I only watched a clip where he went through a table.
He only was in the match for about 5 minutes,
And then he gave Cody the Iggy.
yeah,
while he was trying to sell the table. Hey, it's okay. It's okay.
he did a pretty good power bomb.
I saw that. Looked good.
Yeah,
It looked good. How was the girl that was with him? What's her name?
Jade Cargill.
Okay,
Yeah,
yes.
she was fine. The match itself was fine. I mean, it was kind of just. I think it was more to show off the two women and their abilities because they really haven't wrestled.
So did the Jade girl? Did she look good? Like, did she look confident? Did she look seasoned, or was this her first match ever?
Yeah, she looked confident, but there was a lot of obvious hesitancy with certain things that she did. Where I was like, all right, she'll get there, but she's got a good look. She exudes confidence.
Incredible.
Like, yeah,
what a beautiful woman too,
Yeah.
man. Like, holy shit. Like, and she's a basketball player, right?
either that or a gymnast or something.
I think she comes from a basketball background, so she's obviously
that would
athletic.
make sense. Yeah,
But I mean, like, she's like ripped up. She's pretty as can be. So I was like, they got something there.
yeah,
You just got to make sure that in-ring work is there,
yeah.
or at least they can hide it good enough to where it looks like it's there.
And unfortunately, they need help in their women's division because they don't have a lot of the women that they plan to build the company around, because some of them left, some of them got injured. Like,
Yeah.
so they're trying, like, so that's a star. If they, build it correctly, she could be a big star for them.
And then the other female in the match, what was her name?
Oh man,
Is it Red something?
Red Velvet.
Red
yeah.
Velvet.
Yeah, it was to be Brandy, I'm sure.
Yeah, but
she got
she's
pregnant. So
was Red Velvet? How was she?
she's pretty good. I think she's been wrestling for a while, so I
Okay.
think she's not a while, but she's experienced, I think. So
And then was it straight WWE style intergender match where guys can only wrestle guys and
Yeah.
girls and girls?
So yeah, I don't think they did too many spots with the women and the men. It was mostly just Shaq and Cody had like maybe 5 minutes of stuff they did, and the rest of the match was both of the women kind of doing their thing.
Who went over?
I want to say, I think it was Cody and Red Velvet.
Okay, makes sense.
It was so long ago. I can't remember.
Don't give Shaq the win, and he'll never wrestle again. It's a wasted win. Right?
No, yeah, he was put into an ambulance and then disappeared from the ambulance, which I didn't understand what was going on.
Why do you put in that? Because of the table.
Because of the table spot, they did a whole thing where they had to wheel him out, but he's Shaq, so it was pretty funny to watch them try to wheel Shaq out
He's gigantic.
in a fucking.
Wait, did they try and like
They
stretch
stretchered him out into the ambulance. Yeah,
Like, did they even have a stretcher big enough for him?
they did. Yeah,
Did they actually like pick him up on the board too? Like,
Yeah.
how they lay somebody out?
yeah.
How many guys did they have
They
picking
had
him up?
like 7 or 8
'Cause
guys.
he's got to be 300 pounds,
Yeah.
right? Jesus. That's funny.
I wonder if he's one of those people that has to, because when there's people like in the 600-pound life show, when they have to go get MRIs, they have to go to like the zoo.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know I wonder if Shaq's one of those people. Like, I don't think Shaq can fit in like a normal MRI machine.
Maybe not.
Like, does Shaq have to go to like the zoo to get an MRI? Like,
Ugh. Yeah.
so
All right. Well, so was it a good pay-per-view?
I thought so. I enjoyed it for what it was. I don't know if people are getting themselves too overhyped for these things now, because I saw a lot of people who didn't like it, but for what it was, I enjoyed it. Like, the ladder match was good. I like seeing Sky go over. Like,
So
I was happy for him.
was that I saw people were tweeting like congratulations. I saw him holding like a big like.
It was
brass
to be in
ring?
the next Sonic the Hedgehog movie.
Get the fuck out.
No,
of
I'm
here.
just kidding.
Okay.
Did you see the ring thing they had?
It's a brass ring.
Yeah.
Is it? It's a little knock at Vince.
Yeah. So the winner of the ladder match was getting a shot at Darby Allin's title this week. So
and the point was it's a brass ring.
The brass ring, but it looked like the ring from Sonic and the Hedgehog.
Oh,
so
really? That's
everyone.
Funny. That's funny.
So I was happy Sky won. They've been kind of back and forth with Sky for a while, but it's like Sky's awesome. Give him a fucking chance.
Man.
Like
he is. I've wrestled him twice.
It's such a nice fucking guy. Like just
incredible.
give him a chance. Like
Incredibly
so I'm glad that they're
nice.
giving him a chance finally. Hopefully it leads to something more for him.
Yeah.
Because he had a match with Jericho not too long ago and it was pretty good. And after that they really didn't, like, I don't know if he got injured or something, but they really didn't do anything with him after that for a long time. So
I mean, if they're gonna, so they're bringing in AEW's bringing a lot of the old timers, right? The old WWE vets, and that's to get the eyes, get that credibility with like these known wrestlers. That's good, but they should really be pushing Sky. Sky is good on the mic. He's good in ring. He's got the He's got the credentials.
Good look.
I feel like that's a guy that they could really push, and it'd be really something, and they could turn him into something.
Yeah.
Like I said, I've wrestled Sky twice. Both times were great. He's awesome to work with. He's got great ideas, really friendly.
Yeah.
And he's open to like, hey, okay, tell me what do you want to do? And hey, what do you want to do? Hey, Sky, I have this spot that I'm thinking about. Okay, cool. And if it's not good enough, he'll tweak it a little bit to make it work.
But he won't be a dick about it.
But he won't be a dick about it. Because let me tell you, some cats will be.
Yeah.
Some cats will be. And when you have to work with people that like Sky and that they're going to, be open to suggestions and down with what you want to do and help you out, that's awesome.
Yeah.
But when you're going to go work with a guy who's just going to be fucking, you're going to have to like politic, you're going to have to, I don't know. It's just,
you have to work your way into getting like some shine.
Yeah.
There's
some people that still are just out for themselves.
Yeah.
And they just want to look out for themselves and that's it. They don't want to like make you look good. And that sucks. Yeah. So, but Sky, I think they should push him to the moon right now and see what they can get out of it. See what they can get out of him.
They've got a lot of guys that I see them kind of starting to push a little bit. Like that's the one thing I noticed. They give guys who haven't gotten opportunities. Like Darby wasn't getting an opportunity if he went to WWE, but now Darby is one of the most pushed guys in AEW. So
yeah, and I see that. I think they should be. If I was in the office and I saw Darby Allin and Sky, I would push Sky.
Yeah, for sure.
Like for some reason, like I feel like Darby's getting a bigger push right now, and maybe down the road, like Sky will get that bigger push. But I would have been like, listen, we got to get Sky over. Like we got to get this guy out there because Darby, like I said, he's got, or not like I said, but Darby's got a cool look. He does cool moves, so that's two good things.
Yeah.
He's not good on promos, right? He's not good on promos.
He's gotten better, but
Let's be honest here.
No, I mean, you're right. He's not great.
He's not.
He's like an amateur filmmaker, so he makes all his promos look really cool. And that's what is advantageous for him.
That's cool.
Yeah.
His size.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever seen him in person.
No, he's small.
He's very small.
Yeah.
So I also think that could hinder a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a proven fact that big, gigantic people draw eyes to them. Like you have to look at a big, a person who walks in the room who is massive, they automatically get looked.
AEW, unfortunately, has a couple of those guys that I wish were just a little bigger, like Jungle Boy. I think he's really good, but I know I don't know how tall he is, but he's skinny.
He's not very big.
But he's like, his toned and looks good, but he's not like, I'm like, I wish you were bigger because I like you. And like, he seems like he's a good guy with a good head on his shoulders. Like I'd like to see him get pushed more, but I know there's always going to be that stigma with guys like him where it's like, oh, he's too small.
Yeah. Jungle Boy, he could put on a few more pounds, get a little bit more filled out, but he's also still pretty young. I think he's in his early 20s.
Yeah, he's like 23, 24.
So he has the opportunity to fill out.
Yeah.
He obviously can't get taller, but he can at least fill out. And that's the thing. Sky isn't huge. He's not like a very tall guy. I think, I think at the highest he's maybe 6 foot, but he's thick and he's in shape. He looks great. He takes his shirt off. He's yoked up. So that, that draws eyes. Plus he's got just a great athleticism, but he's also a solid mat wrestler.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So, if I was in the office, I'd be like, listen guys, let's push Sky first and see what we get out of him. Just, I don't know.
That's what I'm hoping this is the jump off point to. I'm hoping that, because when that ladder match was happening, I was like, well, I would prefer Sky win, but I didn't expect it. I expected Cody to win. Mm-hmm. But like even the crowd was booing Cody, like possibly winning. And then Sky won, and I'm like, the crowd was still quiet. I think that is the difference between Darby and Sky. For some reason, the live crowds at AEW didn't connect with him as much as they connect with Darby.
Well, it's probably because Darby's been got a lot more screen time.
Yeah.
On Dynamite.
Yeah.
Right. Where I feel like Sky's been more on like the AEW Dark, which is on YouTube.
Yeah. And he was brought in as a tag guy. So people look at him more as a tag guy when, he's of the three of those guys, like should be the singles guy.
Yeah.
As much as I like Daniels, he's at the point now where he should take the back seat and be in the tag team.
Yeah, man. Oh, well.
But overall, the show was good. I thought the show was good. The Bucks had a good match, I thought.
Who'd they wrestle?
They wrestled Jericho and MJF.
Okay.
And I like MJF, so.
MJF, man, he's got it, dude. He's good on the mic. He's good at wrestling.
The only guy that doesn't ever break his gimmick.
Yeah.
Because obviously, if he was an actual dickhead like he acts, he wouldn't be getting pushed on TV because no one would want to deal with him.
Well, just in life, you can't get by like that.
You can't get by like that. So it's obvious that in reality, he's a nice guy, but he portrays the gimmick everywhere. Mm-hmm. He's the one guy and I think he can go in the ring too. Some people don't really believe in it, but I whenever I see him in the ring, I'm like, he's good enough to where the character and the ring work match up well enough.
Yeah.
So, and he's young too. He's like in his 20s.
Yeah, he's like early 20s.
So yeah, these guys are going to be around for a long time. So they have plenty of time to connect and get better and get bigger and for whatever they need,
Let's go back to the finish. Because I feel bad. Obviously,
there were some great memes though.
Something went wrong. Yeah,
some great videos that got made.
But what was kind of interesting? So after the explosion, that didn't really happen, right? It was like a lot of sparklers, a few little, black cats went off. Maybe an M80. Yeah. Then. Was it on air? Was Moxley on air talking shit about like he's like, hey, Kenny Omega's like a hell of a wrestler, but he can't make a bomb worth
shit? It was
shit.
Post show, but they put it on their Twitter, so it's in canon of the show. Basically,
see now this is kind of I think an issue where it's like, guys, you're hurting yourself here.
Yeah,
you're fucking burying yourselves because the explosion didn't happen like it was built up to happen, right?
Yeah.
Which I didn't even know about any explosion happening. I heard there was a barbed wire. What is it called?
Exploding barbed wire death match.
I heard there was that.
Yeah.
And I know that that certain points, explosions happen. I didn't know there was supposed to be one coup de grace explosion though. I didn't hear about that. I just saw it on Twitter when I saw people commenting about how it didn't happen or, they were making fun of it or whatever. I was like, hey, shit happens. I've been involved where shit like something was supposed to happen one way and it didn't.
Yeah.
But it's live TV. That's wrestling, it's like when the tables break before somebody even lands on it, So I'm not going to shit on somebody because something didn't go as planned.
Yeah.
Because I've been in that situation myself. But I thought it was interesting that they would air John Moxley talking shit about the explosion, about how, it didn't happen or kind of how weak the whole, fireworks,
the
and
bomb,
sparklers
quote unquote,
was. And then you have Eddie Kingston in the back selling it like he's concussed from, the explosion. And it's like, man, you guys are kind of just like, you're fucking yourself.
See, that's the one, the Eddie thing is the one thing that I'm like, man, everything you said after the show could have really worked if Eddie wasn't selling it like he was dead.
Exactly.
Because you could have easily had Kenny, who built the bomb, go, well, it was supposed to go off in 30 minutes. I'm not going to build something that might hurt me, might kill me.
Yeah, you can easily cover it.
Yeah, but then you have where Moxie's talking shit, but then Eddie's in the back like sounding like he's dead. I'm like,
yeah.
Like you could, I mean, I don't know how easy it is to call audibles and companies like that, or like at least have a backup plan. But I at least thought they should have been like, well, what if the bomb doesn't look good at the end? Like, what do we do then? Like you could use, Kenny was playing a prank.
Yeah.
Because it's like, it's so silly because they said the ring was going to explode in 30 minutes if the match wasn't over. And then when the match is over, they said, well, this thing's going to go off anyway. And I'm like, well, what if the match ended in 2 minutes?
Then you gotta wait.
You gotta wait 28 minutes for the bomb. Like the guys aren't gonna take the ring down because the ring's gonna blow up in 30 minutes. So like, I'll just wait till the ring blows up. Like it's such silly stuff. But like they've literally been around for 2 years, and this is the first like big snafu they've had. So it's like shit happens. Like you said, like people complain that they didn't deliver on their promise. I'm like, well, WWE didn't deliver on the promise when they had an eye for an eye match. Like Rey Mysterio still has one of his eyes. Like,
yeah,
you didn't give me the losing of the eye, which you promised me in that match. So.
Yeah, that's true. But still, I just think it's one of those things where it's like, hey guys, I understand we're having fun here, but there's somebody has to like be serious.
Yeah.
And that person needs to have all the power and be like, listen, guys, what John said was funny. How Kingston was selling it hilarious to us.
Yeah.
Don't put that shit on social media. You can't have the inmates running the prison, right?
Yeah.
Like, because us wrestlers, we get very, sometimes you get bored, of the same old, so you're like, hey, let's do this because it'll pop us. Like we think it's funny.
Yeah.
But then when you present that to the public, they're not in on the joke.
Yeah.
They're not in on the inside, the back, the little nudge of like, hey, this is hilarious.
Yeah.
So, I think there needs to be a point where somebody has to say no.
Yeah.
You can't put that on. Somebody has to be the mom or dad, the parent, saying no. Can't do that.
I think they just immediately thought, well, now like this looks so bad, like we have to cover it up. So like.
Yeah,
he cut that promo, and then they're like, well, let's just put this on our Twitter. Like,
which I agree.
Yeah.
Hey, that's fine. Like have Moxley
try to find something.
Shit on Kenny for, hey, your bomb making skills suck.
Yeah.
But it just sucks when Kingston's in the back selling it that way.
Yeah, it was my only literal problem with it. It is kind of minor, but at the same time, it's like somebody at some point should have said to Eddie, like, hey,
wake up.
Stop sounding like that. It looked like shit. We're trying to pivot from it. Like,
hey, wake up.
Yeah.
And maybe kind of look around like that was it.
Like, yeah, like he could have just got things go off. He could have looked up and looked around, and Kenny could have ran back out and pointed and laughed at him.
Yeah.
And I'm like, then it's an easy fix right there.
But that's also us, Captain Hindsight.
Yeah, Captain
Monday
Hindsight,
morning, Tuesday morning quarterbacks.
It's easy for me to say you should have a backup plan, but when you probably worked on this all week, it probably looked great.
Yeah.
Like when you probably practice runs with it, it probably looked great when you blew it up. Like it's not going to look like they did in Japan where it's like a billow of smoke that goes up like 20 feet in the air.
Yeah.
Like it's not going to look like that, but you could, I thought if they had stuff at ringside, like shooting up in the air where you blocked out the ring, you could have easily sold it like the ring blew up.
Yeah.
And you could have been, okay, well now it's smoke inhalation is why Eddie's passed out. But when it was sparklers and then a couple of things went off ringside, you're like, all right, well, what are you doing now? Like, why are you selling this now?
Yeah. Oh, well, it's working on the fly, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And,
there's never been a wrestling company that's batted 1,000.
Hell no.
Hell no. Their batting average in the first couple of years of their existence has been pretty high. So I'm going to give them a pass on this one.
Yeah. Listen, down the road, people aren't going to remember this.
No.
They're going to be like, oh yeah, I remember that. It's like the Shockmaster. Like it's funny now. I'm sure back in the day they were shitting their pants and like, being like, God damn it, this is we're ruined. That
was my immediate reaction when this happened. I kind of went like, oh fuck, this is the new Shockmaster. That's kind of because I was like, oh man, because they had fans there. So like if they didn't have fans there, it's like, they could have gotten away with it and done some post-production explosions to make it look better. But because it was in front of a live crowd, it's like, shit.
Yeah. Oh well, man. It's wrestling.
You live and you learn.
You live and you learn. Keep moving. It's not the last time they're gonna mess up or something doesn't go right. shit happens all the time.
I would not expect another one of those matches though. That I will say.
Oh, really?
I mean, because of that finish, I highly doubt they're going to do something like that again. The match itself was fine.
Was it?
Yeah.
Barbed wire.
No, I've never.
No, thank you.
No. And it was real barbed wire too. Some of it was gimmicked like on the ropes, but
Yeah.
when you see a guy go into a board and it's sticking to their back of their neck, like, oh, that's real.
No, thank you. No, thank you.
How much would it take to get you in a match like that?
I don't know, man. I don't know. It might be experience. It might be exposure.
Yeah.
I don't know. You're gonna have to tell me who's this with, where's it at.
Well, it's with Hunter because he's the deathmatch guy.
Yeah, right. Then I'm charging $10,000. Yeah, I don't know, man. Some people are into that stuff. Like wrestling is just like any form of entertainment. There's different styles. Music, there's different styles. TV, there's different styles, genres, whatever. Movies, there's just different styles and genres. And there's people that like that the deathmatch stuff.
Yeah, I don't like it, but I know it's something that Moxley did a lot of early in his career. So I know I'm like, if anybody can do it right and know how to do it in a mainstream way, it's probably him.
Yeah.
And Kenny's crazy, so
yeah,
Kenny can make it. They made it work the best way they could. But I don't want to see it. I don't want to see more of it.
Yeah, I think I might draw the line at like barbed wire. I don't know. I just don't want to get cut.
Oh, yeah, I know it messes you up bad. Like thumbtacks are one thing. You can just take those out. Like
I don't even want to take those.
Yeah.
But the thing that scares me about like barbed wire, any kind of sharp stuff like that where it's cutting you is like, man, what if you mess up and you cut like a major vein or artery? And
which I'm trying to remember who it was, but it happened to somebody. There was a wrestler.
Well, didn't Nick Gage almost died?
Yeah.
Nick Gage almost died at the Tournament of Death. He got life flighted out.
Jeez.
Yeah.
I think there was a wrestler back in the day named Sexy Eddie who cut his bicep with barbed wire, and he was like bleeding really bad.
Ugh.
And he almost had to go to the hospital too.
Did he finish the match?
I'm sure he finished the match, yeah. Because that's the pride. I finished the match,
that's
brother.
The only concern. I finished the match. Yeah, it's just not really my thing. I don't know. I don't like getting cut and bleeding, especially. Guess what? A lot of these guys aren't getting tested.
Yeah.
For STDs and other kind of stuff like that. Bloodborne pathogens. I don't know. It just kind of freaks me out. And if I get, I've only been hard weighed. I've never gigged.
Yeah.
I've only been hard weighed. And, the hard ways weren't planned hard ways. They just happen, like accidents happen. But I don't know. Kind of freaks me out.
You didn't blame you. There's a lot of people that don't want to do that because, you're getting paid.
I'll let Devin Sparks pick up the hardcore.
Yeah. I would find it more likely that you would do a hardcore match before Devin would do a hardcore match.
I've done like certain types of hardcore matches. I wouldn't say I'm a hardcore guy, or I don't know. I've done a little bit of it.
You're not going to be the next Tommy Dreamer is what you're saying?
No. I couldn't imagine having to like do those types of matches consistently. I don't know.
Yeah, because then you're pigeonholed into that. And then like you can never just have like a normal match again. Because everyone's expecting you to always hit people with shit and wrestle that style. It's like, well, what if I want to do something else?
I was more concerned about like, so you're getting like scabbed up all the time, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I just wouldn't want to be walking around with scabs.
Like,
all
look
over
at
me.
Devon Dudley's head.
Yeah, all those scars.
All those scars from all the times he had bladed in ECW. Like,
yeah.
I wouldn't want to look like that.
No, neither do I. Actually, I was talking to somebody has to do somebody I was talking to has to do a something in the future about, and I think they're gonna have to get some juice, and they were talking about it. I'm like, I don't know how to do it. I've never done it before, man. I've never done it before.
Just DM Nature Boy Ric Flair on Twitter, and he'll give you all the tips.
I should just go, well, first of all, you have to keep the blade in your mouth. Old school style.
Yep.
None of this tape it to your wristband stuff.
There's like Tylenol or something you're supposed to take that makes the blood run.
Alcohol. You can drink a beer.
Drink a beer. It makes the blood run more when you blade.
Yeah.
That's another one I've heard.
I've seen guys like they'll drink like a beer or have some kind of alcohol, like not a lot, not get drunk, but just enough to get the blood thinned up. It's a trick. Yeah. But I think that carrying the razor in the mouth,
I can't even imagine how people did that.
dude, no
Oh
way,
my God.
man.
Like the wrist, like the finger tape is one where I'm like, I
Yep.
could probably do that.
Yeah.
Or like the wrist tape.
Yeah.
But like in the
You're-
mouth, no way.
You're a badass if you carry it in your mouth. Hogan. That's how I learned about it. The first time was it a documentary. And I forgot I can't remember if it was just Hogan or something like that, but they were like, you want to see where Hogan was like, you want to see where I keep the blade? And he just pulls it out with it, like, you know, with his tongue. He moves it, shows it to the camera, and then puts it back in. And I was like, holy shit.
I would be so afraid on like a bump, I would like swallow it.
Yeah.
But then again, like I don't know how much, like if Hogan in matches, I don't know if he's bumping a whole lot.
I mean, just in general, like
Yeah.
you having a blade in your mouth while doing a form of athletic performance,
Yeah.
you know, you never know what's going to happen. I don't like, there's like certain things in your mouth. If you sliced your mouth, you could probably bleed out pretty easily, right? Like underneath your
Yeah.
tongue and all that kind of stuff. Ugh, that's scary.
I think I roughed a match one time where the guy who bladed maybe put it in my pocket and hand it to him at one point.
Uh-huh.
So that's another, I guess, form of way they can do it, where they just have the ref hold on to it,
And then slide
and then
it over.
and then like there's a bump, he'll hand it to you like that.
Giving away, why are you giving away the tricks, bro?
You just gave away the trick.
No, you're giving away the tricks, bro.
That's fine.
Listen, if I'm giving away the tricks about like somebody stashing the blade in their mouth, that's badass.
Yeah.
That's badass. You got my respect just for carrying that thing in
Yeah.
your mouth. But what else, man? What else is going on in this crazy world of pro wrestling? You see Joey Ryan put out a thing.
His quote, I believe, was, "I was really jazzed up to see myself trending on Twitter again."
See, this is the thing. So when I saw that they put out an article about him, he dropped a couple of the lawsuits.
Yeah.
I was like, man, maybe he like kind of understand. Like maybe he's at a point where he understands this is the first part of like maybe fixing your image a little bit, accepting.
Yeah.
I listen. I don't know. Like I said, these are still allegations.
Yeah.
This isn't. There's been no trial. There's been no jury conviction or anything like. These are still allegations. They're just allegations. I was just like, well, maybe he's gonna start. This is like the first path where he's like, oh, okay, that was a dick move with the wrestling for charity thing. Like maybe I really need to step away.
Yeah.
And this is gonna be like my going away letter. And yeah, when he brought up like I'm still over enough to cause like this kind of controversy, it's like, man, there's that self-awareness thing. Like there's that like, hey, read the room. Like nobody wants to hear that. Nobody wants to hear that you're talking about being over that, because that's a wrestling term, right? And right now the wrestling industry is saying, hey, we don't want you here.
Yeah. And they're going to keep saying that because he hasn't ever shown any contrition in any of his actions.
That's
even
the
if they're
problem.
allegations, even if he doesn't believe he did that. If he says, I apologize for the way people perceive my actions, yada, 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 he could probably at some point come back and people would complain, but I think it would be a smaller group of people than what it is now.
Yeah.
Because now he's just coming out and he's just bragging about how he got over for being on a show. Like, and I'm like, well, yeah, but you're still the same guy. Like you're not showing any contrition or any kind of regret for anything you like. Even if you don't think you did anything wrong, just the best thing to do is just apologize,
or just step away, and not make any.
Yeah.
I don't know. But it was weird because I was reading that little statement that he wrote, and I was like, okay. And then as soon as like I read that, you know, I'm still surprised, or I'm still, you know, talking about being over and causing this kind of, I was like, I stopped reading after that. I was like, you lost me there, dude. Like you lost me. Come on, man.
It's just like his hour-long video he made where he just spent an hour and a half burying the people that accused him. And I'm like, I'm not going to watch it anyway, but like at least at one point just apologize for something. Just say you're sorry. Like this is like, it's so simple. He's a sports guy. He's seen a million of these athletes who've done steroids. They get past it because they just apologize. They say, I'm sorry. I regret what I did. And then in 2-3 years, people forgive them. Like, I'm not saying that's going to happen with him because some of the allegations against him are awful. Like there's going to be a section of people who are never going to ever give him a chance ever again.
Yeah, you're correct on that. I don't know, man. It's crazy stuff. But maybe that letter is the last of it, as far as.
I hope so.
Maybe because he said he was gonna he dropped not all the lawsuits, but some of them.
Yeah, there was one. He's not dropping the suit against Impact for wrongful termination.
Well, he'll probably get that's probably a slam dunk.
Yeah, he'll get something for that. Yeah,
because there's a contract.
Yeah,
there's a contract. Like, and as much as anybody who's listening doesn't want to hear that Joey Ryan's gonna get paid out for that. I'm sorry. Like,
sometimes the way the law works is not fair. Like,
like that's just how it is. But and Impact probably has the money to pay out.
Yeah.
Right. Whereas a lot of these independent wrestlers and these female wrestlers, or females that work in the business that have allegations against them, they probably don't have. I'm guessing they don't have the money for that kind of stuff. So I don't know, man. Wild stuff. But I just thought it was kind of interesting because last week we were talking about the wrestling for charity controversy, and now this week, I saw that he put out a letter. I can't say it's an apology letter.
It was a statement.
It's a statement. There you go, statement. And oh well.
Hope it's the last we hear from him for a while. Take a break, get away from it. You're not going to do yourself any favors by, like, if he really wants to come back at some point, like, he has to step away for a little bit and just be out of the spotlight.
Yeah, maybe.
Or else there's no chance he's ever going to come back with any kind of credible return.
Yeah, and even if I don't, that's a very thin chance of that ever happening. Yeah. So
he would come back with a razor thin. I'm trying to think of the term when somebody comes back, but it's like you're on thin ice, basically. Like, you can't make any mistakes at that point. Like, if he came back, that would be what it would be. It'd be like, all right, everyone's watching you now. You can't make one mistake. You can't do the gimmick that you were doing. Like, no one's going to do that. A lot of people aren't going to work shows you're on, so promoters might not want to book you in certain places. But there's always those places, and you know what those places are, that are like places around here where they would welcome him with open arms because it would get them publicity.
What's interesting too? I think he mentioned something in the statement about how, like, every wrestler knew, like he didn't want to hide the fact that he was on that wrestling for charity show. He wanted everybody to know that he was on it. And in that statement that the Wrestling for Charity put out, it said everyone was well aware of the situation and all that kind of stuff. I'd like to see, because there's got to be evidence of the contact between the promoter, whoever that might be, for Wrestling for Charity, and these wrestlers. I'd like to see, like, if somebody can screenshot and say, hey, this is the information we got for this show. Because there has to be evidence of the interaction between the promoter.
And there were some big names on this show. You would think maybe they'd want to clear themselves and be like, hey, like, this is an interaction I had. At no point did they mention Joey's name.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. It's pretty interesting. Pretty interesting, man. Oh well. But hey, man, it's Tuesday night and AEW Dark is on tonight. Guess who's going to be on AEW Dark?
Not this week.
But I mean, in the future,
it'll be on the future.
I tell you the truth,
we have no idea.
We don't know.
We have no idea.
Don't know.
So we can't say for certain.
But B-Boy, Benny is heading out to Jacksonville today, or was it yesterday?
No, I saw the tweet this morning. So he was at the airport this morning.
Okay, so they're probably not. He's probably not on tonight's AEW Dark.
No, because
I'm guessing just the time it takes from flying from the West Coast to the East Coast, all that.
It depends on, like, it can take 5 hours. It can take, like, the flight I'm taking to Tampa is like 4.5 hour flight. So.
But you're flying into the future also, right?
You're flying into the future. So you have to leave here at like 6 a.m. to get there in the middle of the afternoon.
Yeah.
So I doubt if, even if he's at the building tonight, I doubt if they're doing something tonight that he's going to be on the show.
Yeah. But anyway, so Benny, B-Boy, owner, head trainer at Level Up, he's heading out there to go do some matches for AEW Dark. I hope maybe he gets a better opportunity from that.
Yep.
He deserves it. The guy's been wrestling for over 20 years. I think he's at like 21 or 22 now. And good luck, man. He told me about a month and a half ago about this opportunity.
Okay.
And I said, congratulations, man. Get out there and do your thing. I know he's been trying to get back in the ring shape over the past month and a half, trying to, drop some pounds, he's got back in the ring because he I don't think he's done like any wrestling except for Hunter's gender reveal party that him and Ruby Ray's did.
And the show he's on where he wrestled you guys.
And that,
the student showcase
and
show.
that too, I guess so. Like and then that was 6-man tag, so you don't get too much in ring time. But man, I hope he goes out there. I hope everything works out for him. I hope he gets good matches. I don't know how it works out there, but good luck out there, Benny.
It was only a matter of time. With the people that are in AEW, the people that know him and know how good he is, like it was only a matter of time before he at least got a chance to go there and show what he can do.
I mean, he's probably already wrestled pretty much all that roster anyways.
Everyone on that. At least all the SoCal guys, I'm sure he's been in the ring with at some point, one way or the other.
I would love to look at like Benny's history of like who he's wrestled. Man, I'm telling you, the guy has probably wrestled everybody.
Oh yeah.
There's
a who's who of people because he wrestled so much on the East Coast back in the day. Even recently, he's still doing it.
Yeah.
And now he's got another opportunity, Mania weekend. He's going to be in the GCW tournament.
What's
going on? Acid Cup. Who knows what'll come of that? Like maybe he'll get a couple more bookings that weekend because they're going to be running a bunch of independent shows that weekend. I'm sure.
Yeah. You're still going out there?
Yep.
Cool, man.
They're going to do a blood sport.
I saw that.
So I'll see if I can find Josh Burnett and
drop my name.
Drop your card.
Appreciate it.
This is Mike Camden. He wants to be on it badly.
Who you going out there with?
Me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I have family out there, so I'm going out there for Mania, but I also have family live in Orlando, which is like 2 hours away.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go hang with them too while I'm out there, do some stuff. Florida's wide open, so
yeah.
California's gonna be open soon. We're gonna be able to go to Padre games this year.
Yeah,
starting April 1st.
I knew they were like a few weeks ago. They were, there was like a petition or something like that. Like they were trying to get opening day, like fans to opening day.
Yeah.
And it looks like it's going to be that.
Theme parks are opening again, so SeaWorld will be open.
They said end of April?
April 1st.
Or is it April 1st? Mm-hmm. April, maybe. Hopefully this isn't a gigantic April Fool's Day joke.
I hope not.
But okay, so it's April. They're opening up the theme parks
and stadiums.
So that's good, man. You know what the funny thing is? So my wife and I were talking about this because we heard about it over the weekend. So Disneyland's going to be opening up to 25% capacity. How much are they going to charge tickets though?
I think it's going to be the same.
Okay.
Because I've looked, because Disney World in Florida is the same thing. They have limited capacity, probably not as much as the one in California, but their tickets are roughly the same as what they've always been.
Okay. Because I was thinking, listen, that is a dream day to go to Disneyland. If it's only 25%, how many rides are you going to get in? You ain't waiting in no lines.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what the max capacity for, so are they going to divide it up between California Adventure and Disneyland? So this is kind of like probably like stuff they have to work out, right? Because think about it, man. Nobody wants to go on a busy day to Disneyland. Everybody wants to go on a day that it's not busy at all.
But you're also going to get those people that just don't want to go to Disneyland right now because of everything.
True.
So you're going to get half capacity. A bunch of people aren't going to want to go. So if you've ever wanted to go to Disneyland and actually ride all the rides, now is the time to do it. All you got to do is wear a mask, which isn't that big of a deal.
And I wonder how they're going to do tickets. Like, it's probably not just be a first come, first serve kind of ideal, right?
I think what they plan to do back when they were going to reopen them like a couple months ago is you had to buy tickets in advance, basically.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't like walk up and buy tickets to Disneyland. Like you had to like look and see if there was availability on that day and then buy the tickets.
I wonder, do they even have park passes or whatever? Like
they had like a yearly pass, but I heard that they were getting rid of that too.
Okay.
But those are so expensive. And if you only buy the smallest one, there's only like a certain days you can go to Disneyland.
Yeah.
Like if you buy the lowest one, you can't go on the weekends, you can't go on Fridays.
I'm just wondering because I mean Disneyland's been closed for over a year.
Yeah.
So and we're into a new year. So they have the yearly pass. Now, did they even distribute any of those this year? Probably not.
No,
right?
I think once it's shut down, I think they stopped charging people.
So
or
now,
probably give people money back.
So now, okay, cool. So the yearly pass people, you don't even got to worry about them because there ain't no yearly passes out right now. So now you just have to worry about the first come first serve type of people, or the people that reserve online, however they do it. So okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense now. Cool. Yeah, I would go.
I would think if I'm ever, I'm not like a huge Disneyland guy, but if I was ever gonna go, like now would be the time. And that's the same way I feel like going to like baseball games. Like nothing sounds better to me than going to a baseball game with 7,000 people.
Yeah.
Because think of how much space there's going to be between me and everyone else just to like sit back and relax while watching a baseball game.
Plus the Padres this year.
Plus the Padres are going to be awesome.
Kill it.
So, I'm not working right now, so I can go to as many games as I want.
You know what's interesting? So my wife showed me this little survey, and it's the ballparks that fans consume the most beer, or alcohol. And did you see this list at all?
No.
Do you see who? Do you take a guess?
I would assume it's here because we have a lot of breweries here.
Well, take a guess at who's number one.
Milwaukee.
Negative. Good guess though. Good guess.
That's the only place I know that's like.
I'll give
very
you
much
one more
beer.
guess because people are gonna get bored if I keep going.
Chicago.
Guessing. What's Chicago?
White Sox.
There you go, bud. Number one.
Yeah.
Good old Chicago.
Because the White Sox play on the
South side.
South side, yeah, and that South side I heard is the more rowdy side.
They party.
Yeah.
They party.
Do you watch the show Shameless?
Yeah, my wife. Of course, that's that's supposed to be. Wait,
I think that is the South side of Chicago.
it's the South side, but I'm because there's different areas of the South side, and I think they're supposed to be representing where my wife's from.
Oh, really?
But they film it in another area.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I should have assumed that you guys watched that, but yeah, that's my like, only interpretation of like what I know about Chicago.
Yeah,
is like I look at that and I go, okay, because I've heard things about Chicago too for people who have been there, been to those parts of Chicago where you're like, oh god.
Well, so yeah, my wife used to watch it a lot. I don't think she watches it as much anymore, but yeah, it's pretty. I've seen a couple episodes. Funny, funny show.
Is it accurate?
Oh no!
This is what she said. No, not their part, but like
no. She's like a normal suburb. Like she's not from the suburbs. She's actually from Chicago, but it's like the neighborhood she's from it's normal as can be.
Yeah.
But anyways, going back to that list, the Padres were number 5. San Diego, there we go, guys.
Yeah,
top 5. Nice.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me with how many like breweries are out here and how many people like drinking out here. Like, people go to baseball games like I want to have fun, want to have a drink,
Oh yeah. But I thought that was just surprising to me to see San Diego popped up because I could think like I thought like the Cubs would be up there because man, I've gone to Cubs games and man, there's booze flowing there because they're old school. They still do the thing where like you can walk, like the vendors will walk down the aisles.
Oh, really? They don't do that here anymore?
Not in San Diego, dog. Not for they haven't done that forever.
Where they walk around with beer?
Yeah.
And just hand you beer? I've seen that.
Nope. Not in San Diego. No way. No way. You've seen it I've seen it at Wrigleyville. I've seen it at Comiskey or whatever the White Sox have the worst name.
Yeah. It's
for their stadium. I can't remember what it's like. I can't remember what it is.
I don't remember what it is either.
But part of the logo is a arrow pointing down.
Yeah.
It's so terrible. It's the worst. And I remember, I guess the White Sox asked this company that, sponsors the stadium or whatever, hey, can we turn this upside down arrow into a home plate? And they were like, absolutely not. But yeah, surprising. Yeah, but no, they don't do that. Do they do that in New York still?
That's where I remember it from because I went to a Yankee game a couple years ago. I thought I remember them walking around with beer and stuff.
Won't see it in San Diego, dog.
That's crazy.
Nope.
But yeah, it doesn't surprise me that Chicago's one of them too. Because but what does surprise me, like the Wrigley Field is smaller compared to like Petco.
Oh yeah.
Like so. That is another reason why I'd be like, well, the numbers, if Wrigley was bigger.
That's true.
Maybe the numbers would be higher, like because you can fit 50,000 probably in Petco if you packed it.
I think 40,000.
Okay.
Well, I mean the standing room area, like in the outfield.
It all depends on how you count attendance.
Yeah,
like WWE counts attendance as people in the building, not people sitting.
True.
So it's like,
yeah.
But yeah, Wrigley, I'm sure fits about maybe 30,000, 35, maybe.
Yeah. I'm happy though, man. I want to go to some Padres games this year. We're going to have a killer team. I think this is the team, man.
Yeah,
this is the team that takes us to the series.
They're looking very good.
Solid team, man. What else are we
That's about it. We have no questions for this week. So
I feel like I had something to say. I can't remember though. God damn it.
We said a lot, Mike.
I have this short-term memory.
That's
terrible. It's terrible.
Just imagine if we'd done this at 6 o'clock. You would have forgotten everything.
Oh, I wouldn't. I've been like, let's just.
This would have been 20 minutes.
Let's just pass. Let's just do it Zoom, which I hate.
I know.
But anyways, guys, I guess we can wrap it up, right?
Yeah.
Go listen to the Hogsman Red and Black tomorrow. Not tomorrow. Thursday.
Record tomorrow, but you're right.
Thursday. That's Devin's show. And then Big Duke's got his show. He debuted it last week. He's doing great. Did great numbers. Go listen to him on Friday morning. Hogsman Worldwide.
Yep. Taking over.
Hogsman. And then we're trying to work on some other stuff. I told Adam about it. We're trying some work on some other stuff for these podcasts. And hopefully it entertains you.
Maybe a whole network.
Maybe a whole network. We might become a record label.
There you go.
At one point.
You got to come up with a catchy label name.
Hogsman Records.
The Hog Records.
Hogs Records. I don't know. But anyways, let's wrap it up.
Yep.
Check us out on Apple Podcast, Google Podcasts, Spotify. Go like, subscribe, write something. I don't know. Do whatever you want. Go check out our social media at Hogsman Pod on both Instagram and Twitter. Please send in questions. We need stuff to talk about, guys. And shout out Pub Beer, 10 Barrel Brewing, Pub Beer, Cheap Fun Beer. What's up? And then go check out. God, there's something I was going to put over.
Level Up Pro Wrestling.
There you go. Level Up Pro Wrestling. Go check them out. We Level Up Pro Wrestling on IWTV. We're putting out new episodes, I think every Saturday.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Am I correct on that? I think Saturdays morning is when they're releasing them. There is a promo code. I believe you just type in Level Up in all caps.
Yeah.
And that should help you out. Maybe get like a week trial or a month or something. I don't know. I don't know what the promo code does. But hey, I'm giving it to you.
Have you appeared on an episode yet?
Yes. I think I've appeared on 2 episodes. I'm not sure. Not sure though. One was with two. One was with Cam, and the other one was with Fab.
That's right. I saw that. I did see that.
2 younger, newer students. Go check them out. And then February 3rd, Canna Pro.
April 3rd.
When is it? What did I say?
February.
I said February?
Yeah. We're in March now. So
what a dummy. April 3rd.
The day before Easter, right?
Yes. Canna Pro. I believe the name of the show is 4321.
Yeah.
Blast Off.
Yep.
And I'll be wrestling Bad Dude Tito. And I believe that's happening at the Level Up Pro Wrestling School in the back parking lot. So it won't be indoors. It'll be in the back parking lot. You got to wear masks and all that stuff.
So anyone who went to that student showcase a few months ago, it's in the same part of the building, right? Or the Canna Pro show, the Halloween show where you dressed up as Zoltan. Zoltan, I'm sorry.
But yeah, so everything's going to be outside until further notice.
Yeah.
Probably not going to be able anytime soon that we're going to be doing the shows inside.
Yeah.
But actually they are fixing up the inside of Level Up Pro Wrestling. They're making a lot more room. They're painting it. They're making it more visually pleasing. Because back in the day, it was just kind of like a big white room with a wrestling ring in it. So yeah, they're trying to doll the place up a little bit.
For all you know, in a couple of months, they could be back inside. If April 1st, we're allowed to kind of resume somewhat normalcy. Maybe that,
Maybe. Get these vaccines out. These vaccines out. Man.
I've seen a couple of people talking about getting vaccines, and I don't have any clue how they're getting them. I don't know if you being any kind of special circumstance. I don't know how you're getting it.
I think my wife is eligible for it.
Is she?
Yeah, because I think she's falls under the essential worker.
Okay.
For
that makes
whatever.
sense.
So we're past 65 and up.
Yeah.
Right, or something like that.
Yeah, they said by May everyone should be eligible. So like you or I could just go into a CVS and get one.
Okay. So yeah, they're at that stage where now they're taking care of like certain essential workers, and I think she's able to do that. So I don't know. I'll get it whenever It's convenient.
If I'm being honest, if I have to wait an extra month and I can get the one that's just one shot and done, I'll do that.
Really?
Yeah, I'd rather just do the one shot because I've heard horror stories of the 2 shots where people get deathly ill on both of them, and I'm like,
I've only heard on the second shot people have like gotten sick, but not like it puts them down for like a day.
Yeah,
I'll take a day.
I'll take a day.
I'll take a day. Better than that than.
But even if if it's one shot, that means immediately I am now like
Superhuman.
I'm superhuman.
Exactly.
I'm okay now. Whereas I take the first one, I'm like, well, I'm not completely vaccinated yet.
Yeah, true. But it ups you up to like 60%, 60 or 70% immune system. I don't know.
In general, I'm not that afraid of getting it anyway. So
Yeah,
like when I get the vaccine, I'll feel better, but I don't feel like I'm prone to getting it right now anyway.
I know. I agree with you. Like I'm one of those people who's like, let everybody else that needs it go take it. Yeah. I'll be fine. I'll get it eventually.
Yeah.
Eventually. All right. That's it. Adam, thanks for coming by.
No problem.
Thanks for being the best producer ever.
You got it.
And if you want the tip, you got to take the whole hog. Adios.